from Haman to Hamas, from the death camps of Hitler to the death tunnels of Hamas. The relentless drum of Jew hatred beats on throughout history. A pogrom of biblical proportions was perpetrated against our people last Shabbat. Simchat Torah, a time of peace and joy, was hijacked by the heinous Hamas terrorists. The Hamas Charter, which is the modern sequel to Hitler's Mein Kampf. And like Hitler, they did exactly as they said they would if given half the chance to express their genocidal ambitions. They slaughtered women and children and entire families in their homes. They dragged a wheelchair-bound Holocaust survivor across the border back to Gaza. They raped women. They killed, burnt, and decapitated and kidnapped babies. Overnight, they doubled the number of grieving families in Israel. We grieve with Am Yisrael, with our fallen Jewish loved ones, brothers, sisters, parents, children, sons, daughters, family members, friends, soldiers, police, and security personnel who were victims of these heinous acts of terror. War-torn generals in Israel, witnessing some of the horrors of previous wars against Israel, said that last week was something they had never seen in their lifetimes. Pogroms were thought of as something that happened to our grandparents back in Europe, not something of today. This is not something we have seen in recent history, but is the latest in a long chain of Jew hatred that has continued throughout the ages. It is the refusal by the most murderous means to accept the existence of Jews, not only of those who choose to live freely in the ancient homeland of Eretz Israel, but anywhere on earth. And this is not something that can ever be allowed to happen again. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. And justice shall be relentlessly pursued on the perpetrators. And Israel will ensure that this injustice never happens again. I say this to those who have been trying to justify these heinous crimes, who rationalize that the slaughtering and abducting of innocent women and children in their homes is a legitimate reaction to some alleged policy of the Jewish state or her government. I say this to President Ramaphosa and the ANC leaders, garnishing Palestinian scarves, and as they did yesterday morning, pledging solidarity to the Palestinians who murder Jews. Shame on you! Shame on you! President Ramaphosa and the ANC government have chosen to take sides with terrorists, with dictators, with the worst people around the world. They take the side against democracies. They take the side against peace. Shame on them. What a disgrace. They do not represent the majority of peace-loving South Africans who support and sympathize with the Holy Land. We thank from the bottom of our hearts our non-Jewish friends, many here today, from political parties, churches, civil society groups, and countries who have unequivocally condemned this unprovoked act of terror and stand with the Jewish community in Israel. We thank those political parties in South Africa who choose values over votes. We thank our Christian friends and the broader South African community who continue to stand on the right side of history. We will remember you all on this day. Because you either stand with Israel or you stand with evil. Take a side, stand up, stand with Israel and the Jews before the anti-Jewish hate destroys you, as it has to numerous powers and states throughout the ages. The South African Jewish community stands with Israel, our family, our home. I am a Jew. I am a Zionist. I stand with Israel, not because it is easy, but because it is right. Once we were defenseless. Once we were stateless. Never again. The state of Israel, our Jewish homeland, exists to protect and defend our existence, and we choose life. Am Yisrael Chai.